Welcome back to Tran wins Baldur's Gate 3. In the previous episode, we had rescued Will's father with the help of Redhammer, who we spared from the forces of the Wave Mother's priestesses. Before we speak to him, we'll have to speak to Mizora or we'll lose her dialogue.
I bet you're pleased with yourself. Saving Ravengard and making a fool out of me in a single swoop. Go on, do your gloating. You've earned it.
Damn right I did. My father is safe and my chains are broken.
You had no need of my help to show yourself a fool.
Yes, celebrate your fortunes. But remember that they are lost as quickly as they are gained. For now, you've tipped the scales in your favor. But all it takes is a whisper for me to tip them back.
What did you mean about tipping the scales in your favor?
Why look for hidden meaning when the words are laid so bare? Besides, now is a time of celebration. I am sure you and Duke Ravengard have plenty to talk about.
Enough. Probe Mizora's mind.
In this case, if you actually fail it, and on my rehearsal I rolled a 1, no surprise there, she actually does not become hostile to you and you still get to keep trying to probe her mind.
Ravengard will fall. I will strike when the Duke has the most to lose. And I have the most to gain.
I know you will come for him. Try it, and I will save him again. And kill you while I'm at it.
Clause A, Section 2. Should Soul Holder choose to abandon his patron, he is freed from his duty. His father, Grand Duke Ulder Ravengard, will be thus fated to die by an enemy's hand. A sealed pact is mightier than even Asmodeus's ruby rod. Do you think by merely saving a duke that you were ripping it through? You're such a witless little thing. Laugh in the face of the Archduchess Zariel, and she only laughs back. By all means, struggle and seethe when I come for Zariel's prize. Play the hero. Put up a fight. But don't forget who signed away his own father's life when Ravengard's finally bled.
I have tried things such as polymorphing her and chucking her into the river, but the Oathbreaker will support her. That's just how NPC AI typically goes. Even Scratch will attempt to attack you if you initiate hostilities with people in the camp. If you do swing at her just a plain regular attack, with Zariel's protection, all she does is she disappears and no actual battle initiates. Ravengard is injured, we'll heal him later.
First you cleave my heart in twain, now you shatter it to pieces. My son, a monster. Twisted beyond recognition. To think my blood flows through those veins. Is this my fate? To be freed from Gortash's hell, only to be trapped in yours?
It isn't what you think. It never was.
You turned your back on me, on your city, to chase the she-devil and her power. She stinks up the place even now. It is exactly what I think.
I'm beginning to think we should have let you drown.
No, please. Father, let me show you.
Ravengard's tadpole clenches as your memories and wills flow into him.
My tears rose. I'm in your mind.
The Grand Duke sees Mizora and her infernal sisters. He sees the agony in Will's face as an impossible choice is set before him.
No. My son.
The past becomes present, and Will's thoughts are laid bare. Ravengard sees Will partnering with Mizora to defeat Tiamat's cultists before they could lay siege to Baldur's Gate, and he sees everything beyond. The Nautiloid journey, the perilous path to Moonrise, the astral prism, and the Emperor within.
Well,
Everything I did for Baldur's Gate. I did for you.
Okay. I know this is supposed to be a touching moment, but perhaps I am made of stone. This means nothing to me. All I can think of is, as a writing prospect, the entire friction between older Ravengard and Will is shattered here, no matter what your choices are, no matter what your dialogue options you've picked. It feels like there was no point to any of that whatsoever. They might as well have had older Ravengard be grateful to Will in the submersible, and then talk about how they're going to reconcile here. I get that they're trying to reach at some sort of crescendo here and build up that friction, and then suddenly it explodes, and finally they peace, they hug each other, everyone's happy. It doesn't feel like that to me. It feels cheap, unearned, unwarranted.
I bet you feel like a real imbecile right about now.
I do. And I should. My son. You sold your soul to save Baldur's Gate, and I cast you out for it. You gave yourself to the Hell's eternal fires so I might walk free. By the gods. Can you ever forgive me?
There's nothing to forgive. You wanted to protect the city. I only ever wanted the same.
You are a better man than most, and a better son than I deserve. I'll yet make amends, but my duty is first and foremost to the city and its people. There's something I must ask of you.
Go on.
Before I was captured, I was on a mission. Returning from Elturel, I discovered the plans of the Absolutists. I immediately realized the city couldn't defend itself against such an army. I didn't despair, because the city has a secret guardian, a worm that sleeps beneath. He can be called upon in times of great need. This is such a time. You've been trained in the ways of the great champions and proven to be one of them. The worm will answer your call. You must seek him out.
Waking a dragon still doesn't sound like a good idea.
This is no ordinary dragon. The worm goes by many names. Answer, the waiting storm, the heart of the gate. He promised Baldur he'd protect the city if ever its existence was threatened. But just the once. Since then, the city has faced countless threats, but we always overcame. There was never a need to call on the worm. Until now. The Absolute is the greatest threat Baldur's Gate ever faced. The worm must be awakened, and the task falls to you. Take this. The legend of Ansur. An ancient epic. Ill-remembered. Dismissed as a mere tale. Let it set the path before you.
Wouldn't you rather wake the dragon yourself?
The legend has it that Ansur will only answer to a proven hero of the city. Until a moment ago, I thought that was me. But is he who rejects his own child a hero? What of he who calls his brave son a monster? You showed me the truth. You showed me that I was the one who turned his back. You showed me that Will may be the future of Baldur's Gate, and well beyond it.
Please, you and Floric both are staking the city's future on a fairy tale.
A history told by Baldur himself, passed from Grand Duke to Grand Duke, stretching 1,000 years back. It is no fable. It is plain truth. Today you've earned my trust. I know you will do right by me when the time comes. May the city know the truth of my only son. Pride of Ravengard. Pride of Baldur's Gate.
And with that rounded to a conclusion, we'll return to the Grey Harbor docks. Over here is the harbor where the submersible was that killed the priestess in this temple. As an act of revenge or an attempt at justice, they demanded the captivity of Redhammer, the pilot who took us to Gortash's Iron Throne, where we rescued Will's father. With a number of the priestesses dead by our hand so that we could get more loot, which only ultimately ended up in our stash, we have a little bit more free run of the place. Not that they would have stopped us in any way. All of the items on the first floor are no longer owned once we killed the Wave Mother, so we could actually pick up everything, not that it matters. Taking the offerings chest won't do any good for us. Number one, with the Wave Mother dead, it no longer confers a blessing. Number two, you can only get a blessing once per character, it seems, so even if we left the Wave Mother alive, we wouldn't be able to benefit from it any further. In our pursuit of magic items, mostly to show you where they are rather than having any value for us, we're going to kill 2 more priestesses on this upper floor. If you step towards the door, she will initiate dialogue with you.
Stop! These are the Flood Tides chambers. You've no business here, Flotsam. May you wake with your lungs full of water.
On her corpse is a poem, which she also gave poems to this person here. We can take a glance at it. It's a small little love story between these 2 guards, who are now dead by our hands. Don't feel too bad, we're actually going to get more love notes from various guards. From these evil priestesses, because they are priestesses of Umberlee, and that's a requirement in Dungeons & Dragons. Your alignment has to follow the god if you're a cleric of that god. At least it was in the past. I don't know if it still is. I'm not really familiar with 5th edition rules. Darling, in my apron I keep the memory of the concha you offered me. Salty smooth inside, my love. Think you I could forget the finest hour of my life? Okay. I am wondering if that is innuendo, because she seems quite taken with it. Darling, had I known my little poems would please you so, I would have written more, and sooner, and on until you're completely satisfied. The future I see with you spans into the Queen's horizons, and farther still. So yeah, we're also going to kill some Baneites, which will have love notes to each other as well. That seems to be a common trend in this episode. In this book, we see the future plans of the Wave Mother. By year's end, we'll have sufficient resources to acquire Nirthama's shipping yard. For years now, the duties paid at the docks across the city have been far too low. The temple all but subsidizes local trade. This will be rectified once we are able to acquire enough docks to force a rise in tariffs. We may even be able to re-gild the Nave and Waterdeep with the profits. What we really entered this room for was this chest here, which has a counting house key, which I don't really know what these lead to yet, but I'm not worried about it. I will find out eventually. And this cloak that gives us water layer protection until the wearer takes damage once per turn. Prevented from burning, resistant to fire damage, but vulnerable to lightning and cold damage. Okay. Probably more stuff we'll throw in our chest.
One day I'll catch a break.
Maybe we'll put on one of the characters that don't have a cloak. There's going to be a survival check here, which will probably consume our bardic inspirations. That's okay, I'm not worried about it.
I'm telling you, a Sahuagin stole my bait.
Something over there.
What's this swag dodging?
A shark person dead.
Looks like Tran discovered the survival check, so nobody else had to fail and use up their bardic inspiration. Arrow of Arcane Interference, Potion of Greater Healing, and a book. This treasure is probably random, so it may be different for you. I like to talk to this guy.
The others think I don't know shit, but I do. I do know shit.
This is going to be, we'll say, take 10, because I'm trying to get you some rare dialogue here. I'm not saying it's a good dialogue, but it's just some that I'm not sure how many people have seen. And I feel that that's one of the things I can do for you as a video creator, is show you stuff that you might otherwise miss. To find this passageway, I just followed the priestess who would take materials from the offering chest. She would walk it all the way over here, and I stalked her into this passageway. Walking it here will remove your invisibility because it gives you the wet condition. But I can actually just sort of find a nice sweet spot to hop.
swallowed a load of water, woke up with a flood tide standing over me. Done.
Do you think we could have
How about
saved
yours?
Holly? What do you mean? If only
Be
we hadn't
awake
drowned.
with your lungs full of water!
Stealth in this game is wonky at best and doesn't work at worst. But I managed to pull that off in stealth. Okay, I passed over a scroll of arcane lock. We'll get to use this. The goal here is I have to kill all of the ambushers before the reinforcements show, but I can actually stall reinforcements for 10 turns, which is more than I'm going to need by casting arcane lock. I don't know how many times I'll get to use arcane lock in an actual manner, but that is one right there.
You dare steal from the very sea that birthed you? Enjoy these breaths. They shall be your last.
Come on, dude, stop missing. What is this? Then we'll go and dispel arcane lock. Get the staring out of here.
Let's be quick.
To initiate this dialogue, he needs to not be caught. This region's safe. We're gonna go and switch to Tran's team and wait for the lady to run in. You don't actually have to watch for her to run in, but we might as well. Now that the arcane lock is down, she's able to pathfind her way into that treasure room. And we need to wait for her to take up her position inside the treasure room. If she catches us walking into the trespassed area, that's no good.
What path lies before me?
Once she's taken up position, then she can catch us.
Stop! What are you doing down here? You know what? Never mind what you're doing. Leave, or I'll call for help.
I've seen your help. I think I can handle them.
I don't mean my sisters. Emberly, heed my call.
I don't really know what that's supposed to be. As you can see from the option 3, I don't know. Because if you try talking to her before killing the Sahagin, she just says she has to get the offerings or there'll be heck to pay.
Time for a cull.
I don't know what this Umberly Heed my call business is unless it's just a precursor to her casting regular spells. Yeah, duel's on. I don't know why he didn't shoot 2. And that's it. That's the rare dialogue for this spot. Whew, it took about 10 tries to pull this off. I think I did pretty smoothly, though. I really like the arrows of Mini. I have a bunch of them stocked in the chest. I just bring about 50 of Mini arrows because carrying all the arrows does overburden Asterion somewhat. And Will, because he also carries a bunch of arrows.
With they buy it at the fish market.
The Sahuagin is more likely to catch
Attacking the treasure room, taking the treasure wouldn't have turned all those people hostile, but that conversation with that priestess in the treasure room does turn everybody hostile. Whatever. We're just gonna murder our way out then. On the bright side, because they're already hostile, I don't have to do the dialogue problem where I can't surprise attack anybody.
Won't know what bit him.
May you wake with your lungs full of water.
I need to rest. The sunset can't come quickly enough.
Have the group trailing behind me. And that was the last one. The temple has been purged. Okay, this next section you can actually hop from here to this shoreline and make your way across, and the guards will still turn hostile to you. It's fine, now it's whatever. We're going to go and pick this and break our way in, though.
Step lightly.
The sentries have dark vision, so shadows themselves won't mean much.
Of course they do. They're fish.
Very funny. I'm telling you, there's something.
Let's go.
Gondian artificers might lack a certain worldly wisdom. There's no doubting they're masters of their craft.
You're a child at heart, Gale, admiring wind-up toys and clockwork trinkets.
I admire any who follow their curiosity to novel and unexpected means. This is how the world changes for the better.
Yeah. I'm actually surprised I managed to get everyone in. I'm wondering if I should kill this guy. I'm not sure how leaving him alive will affect the guards later. Probably will try to dispatch that Steel Watcher.
Move unseen.
You can't surprise attack him, but because Asterion has the Assassin subclass, when he spends action points beginning a combat, he gets all of his action points at the beginning of the first turn, or first round. This is basically a free salvo. Since I managed to get him just as he was turning that corner, as long as none of the characters walk into that cone of vision, we can easily all hit him with some surprise attacks. Advantage from being hidden. This guy will see about as far as here. As long as you're somewhere behind these flowers, you're fine. I think I picked up some rope. Is that my bound weapon? Yeah, it is.
All right, what now?
Okay, this next section does require a little bit of finesse. I'm going to go ahead and save. I don't think I can interact with, yeah. Everybody pile in, dude. Oh, they were stealthing, that's why. That's why they were so slow to catch up. Alright, let's go and make our save now. And we'll see how many takes it takes to get this to work well. I want to save all of the hostages. They are hostages right now because we already freed the prisoners in the Iron Throne. Otherwise, they would be slightly different, but they would turn you away because they say that they can't risk their prisoners.
Subtle steps.
Pop up here. I guess had it for a second. Whatever, game. We'll just do it from down here. Asterin looks like he has enough strength to hop from here, but characters such as Gale may not have enough strength to do that.
Stay low.
Okay, so while he moves in position, let's go ahead and move everybody else.
You have beaten and tormented us to the brink of insanity. You cut out my eyes, but we will bow no more. Gondians! Rip the motivator from this bastard's hands! For Gond!
Okay, I will say that I couldn't have Asterin attack during the dialogue, and I think these two characters would not be hostile, but the rest would be, and they would be surprised. We're going to go and forego that just for recording purposes to make it more convenient or better for you. Actually, I should be using these arrows. Can I hit anybody else from here? Yeah, looks like it.
Prinsky's motivation sequence activated.
No! The motivator! Deactivate it! Hurry!
Prinsky sounds like a gnome's name, so they they essentially brought this on themselves. That was Asterian's move. Let's move the rest in. Halsin's role is to get hit by people. You could morph into somebody. This cost me a bonus action the way my Druid subclass is, but if you were to pick the Druid subclass that doesn't change it to bonus action, you can then do a jump if you were an owlbear. We can morph into an owlbear right now, and that's fine. Looks like we do lose our Armor of Agathis, which is unfortunate. It's one of the reasons I don't fully know how I'm going to build Halsin. I was originally intending to build him as someone who does lots of Armor of Agathis damage. Maybe it would maintain if I cast the spell naturally rather than from his robes. But yes, as I was pointing out earlier, I can't actually do the Crushing Flight bonus action because his subclass is the one that gives him better Druid shapeshifting Circle of the Moon. And it's kind of ironic there. Can I? Yeah, no, unfortunately, I can't. Huh. Well, that would hit everybody, and I don't know how the AI would feel about that, so we'll just leave it alone. Shadowheart. We'll turn on this. Try to. I'm not entirely sure where exactly 3 meters. But I gotta make sure she has enough movement. We'll hit this guy, I'm guessing. Nope. I didn't want to hit him, so I erred on the side of caution. We'll go and use Position Malefactor, which is an ability I put on the Watcher crossbow. It's not normally on it. This is what the Watchers use when they attack you, so I felt it was reasonable to put that on the crossbow. However, this is not the exact same skill they have. This is a copy and paste of a crossbow we'll be getting later on in this episode, in fact. It's a hidden crossbow, and there's a good possibility you may have missed it. But yeah, I copy and pasted that because I didn't know how to find the Watcher's skill itself. Because I believe that's actually on their skill, since it's certainly not on the weapon. Who else wants to move next? We'll use, I guess, Karlach, I guess. Not sure how... I don't want to necessarily... Well, can Shadowheart move any further? Probably not. Barely. It's fine. The reason I was thinking about that is I really have problems trying to think about throwing this Nyrulna, which does 3 to 12 thunder damage in a 6-meter radius. I'm assuming it's going to hit her. So we'll just throw this regular one. As for the motivator, you can't attack it and destroy it, and you can't have your companions or servants interact with it and destroy it. You have to use a player character. And you get 1 turn before it eliminates people with the collar. If it does eliminate people with the collar, for whatever reason, Gandian Xaner Tubin's still alive. He's the guy who initiates the quest and does all the talking with you. And he is the father of the other Tubin from the Iron Throne. She's the one that's free already and heading to the ladder by the time you show up. I mention all this because if you just let that detonate or whatever, it will kill the other Gandians in this map and the next, even if it doesn't do enough damage to kill them. It just kills them, that's all. No checks, no nothing, they just die. I'm assuming it's something like the Fallout. Actually, let's use Frost. That might knock people on their feet. But I'm assuming it's like Fallout where their head blows up. I don't know. We're on pushing. That was stupid. That was the stupidest move. I'm glad I got that on tape though. It would have been nice if you actually had managed to move so I could hop there and start punching them.
Prinsky's motivation sequence activated.
I wish I could bind Unarmed Strike to number 2 as my custom bar, but it's not a thing you can do. While it does show up in your menu afterwards, after you've enabled it, once it disappears, you're no longer able to use it any further. She doesn't have enough movement to move forward. At the end of this turn, it will have disappeared from that top right of that bar, and the same thing would have happened in a custom menu. It just wouldn't be something I could continue to use. Yeah, I thought it was 2, but I was pressing 2, and all it was showing was the cursor. Maybe if I have it over the enemy and press 2? Yeah, I guess, maybe. I don't know. It was very weird. It just, I intentionally was pressing 2 because I wanted to Eldritch Blast him. You can actually sneak around and talk to that guy without anybody noticing, but he has the same dialogue as he would after. While they take their turn, I will point out that if I follow this Gandian Loa out of the factory, she will call the guards up because I'm trespassing in the Gandian factory. That is dumb. If you just teleport to the waypoint, she won't catch you trespassing, and it should be okay. But I had to run a lot of tests to figure out exactly what was going on, because I was worried it would affect the next cutscene. He just blew himself up. What was he trying to cast or do? He's trying to cast Voice of Command, and I guess I counterspelled that. I didn't kill any allies, did it? Doesn't look like it. Good job, Halson. I know I can always count on you. Oh, look at you. You're in range of Asterion. And he also critically missed. Alright, the battle's not over because I have to interact with those two devices.
Got to concentrate.
If you have trouble clicking on them, you can just... Nice. I'm curious what happens if I hit continue. Did they just blow up? I'm gonna... If that's the case, I'm gonna have to kill these guys again. Worth it. Okay. And he doesn't actually have any new dialogue as a result of that, but we will go and load, and I'll finish dispatching them. You already saw me do the fight, so you won't have to see it again. Alright, let's do this again. Shadowheart had actually really good odds of successfully disabling it. Because she's, in this current class build of hers, she's a wizard. In fact, let's see how many levels. Level 10 wizard with 16 intelligence. But nothing beats a 1.
It's disarmed. My heart's about to hammer right out of my chest.
You only need to do that for the first one. After that, the rest no longer require an intelligence check.
Deactivated. Thank the gods.
The Gondians will respectfully wait for you to talk to them, so we can take a look at the bodies first. There, the black gauntlets are the ones you should really search for infernal maces, though they don't seem to be a particularly unique magic item. We'll take a look at that once we grab both maces, because every black gauntlet will carry these, as well as the motivator. Kill switch protocol. Gretzky's motivator is the supreme Baneite means of ultimate coercion, but is used solely as a deterrent and not as a weapon. When triggered, the user only has moments to deactivate it before the prison tank charges detonate and the hostages are killed, taking with it our leverage over the Gondian artificers. Threaten convincingly, but never go to full detonation unless the entire foundry falls to our enemies. So long as you hold the motivator, you are safe from the Gondians, for they know that if you are attacked, their loved ones will die. However, to prevent accidental massacre, the motivator can be deactivated easily with the correct input. Don't worry about the Gondians. They'll be too terrified to grab and drop the motivator. They are weak and cowardly, the natural prey of the worshipper of Bane. Congratulations, son. Just a quick note to tell you we're so proud of you for finally landing a job with the future. Lord Gortash will go far, and you are right to hitch yourself to his star. Pa is especially pleased at how you're carrying on the Throke's name. In fact, he's taking me out to Elf Song right now to celebrate. Say hello to that sweet Tanya Holtz for me. And Tanya Holtz is one of the bodies here. Right there. What shows one of the black gauntlets. This Steel Watcher helmet is a magical item. We'll go and also take a look at the mace we picked up. There's going to be 5 of them that we collect throughout this little map area. On a hit, the affected entity deals an additional 3 poison damage and can possibly poison its target. That's in addition to a +2 weapon enchantment, so that's +5 damage. That's pretty good as a mace.
This majestic Morian helm shields the Watcher's gyronetic and targeting modules.
Steel Watcher helmet. The wearer can see in the dark up to 12 meters and cannot be blinded. Advantage on Constitution saving throws checks. This is more like a museum. I don't know why you're going to have all these things here. A factory, I don't think, normally has these little museum pieces.
The Steel Watcher's powerful spring-loaded leg components enable it to leap with surprising agility.
You may feel that, well, that's so that Gortash can take people on through a tour to show how good these Steel Watchers are. Don't forget, he slaughtered all of the nobles who witnessed his Archduke coronation. I mean, there's no... Those would be more people in power than whatever investors or whoever's supposed to be looking at this Steel Watcher business.
This Watcher is in Phase 8 assembly stage. Components over-delivered for this month's quota by 114%.
oil barrel you want to pick up and take with you. This leads to the dock area. It's a small little platform, but you would use the lever to lift it up since the game doesn't really have a good height adjustment system. You want to take this Steel Watcher arm.
The arm component wields the mighty Watcher sword, but is also fitted with a fold-out harpoon bow for ranged combat.
Now, I don't know if it's just because I've been modding the greatsword over a couple save periods, but this greatsword actually contains the two-handed and extra reach properties, whereas the other greatswords I picked up do not. I don't know if they're separate swords or not. I don't think that's the way it should be, because if I were to edit something, I believe it... Oh, come on, you saw me through the door or something? Whatever, game. Okay, let's deal with this guy. Actually, I'm kind of curious what he's gonna do. We'll just end our turn, I suppose. But yeah, even if I were to edit something, it essentially applies it retroactively. What I mean is, let's say I had the Reaper's Scythe, and then I save the game, hop out of the game, edit the text file for the weapons property of the Scythe, and then I load the game back up. The Scythe will have those new properties, right? So this guy's just going to stare at the door. Fine. I mean, we're going to have to bust it open. Gale's going to be the person for that, because this door is weak to fire. Doing an impressive 54 damage. Wait on Jaheira for a second. Wait on Will. Yeah, we can use Shadowheart. Reverberate. This is a sword user, so if I try to leave, he'll attack her. Okay, Halsin is part of the previous selection. Step to the side. Jaheira run in and punch. Oh wait, cancel. Can I cancel? No. Right, I need to switch to Radiant mode. Okay. And then we're just gonna go ahead. I could have attacked an extra time if I had done the offhand punch, bonus action punch. Push him back so that he doesn't get that opportunity attack. At this point, he should be well enough under hit points to start his detonation protocol. Alright, what was I saying? Oh, the Steel Watcher sword. Yeah, this one just has different properties than the other ones I have.
Hallmark of the Steel Watch, these immense Watcher swords are forged in the upper city at the Hall of Wonders.
Can't actually click on the ledger, but I can pick it up and then read it. Just a list of where they're getting resources from. Hall of Wonders for the year's fireworks and shipping things to the Iron Throne. Along with the arm, you want to pick up this item, this targeting module, which doesn't show up under the Alt key.
The targeting module, an optical focus device, is fitted within the Watcher's helm to enable aiming of the harpoon bow.
And let's go ahead and head back down here and talk to these people now. I could have talked to them before, but I did want to tour the room before initiating any dialogue. As we see that Gandhi and Loa, she's already run out there, and if I do chase her, she's just going to be sour with me for walking into the factory. This is the only guy we really need to talk to. Nobody else has anything interesting to say.
Did you see what happened? Is my little girl... Is Obelia safe?
Short, annoying, doesn't shut up about Gond. Yeah, she survived.
My heart. I thought her lost. I would give more than just my sight to keep her safe. Our destination is the Neurosita, the nerve center of the Steel Watch. Guide me there, and I'll do the rest.
If I say I have the runepowder bomb, he will not temporarily join your party as a companion, and you do end up using the bomb. I'd rather keep the bomb if all things considered. The explosion at the end will be exactly the same. We'll go ahead and just accept this help.
My fellow Gondians, flee this prison. We're bringing this place down.
I have tried casting Lesser Restoration, Normal Restoration, Heal. I've even tried giving him or throwing, because he won't take it from me. I've tried throwing the potion that I got from Gortash's office, the red potion that says it cures blindness. None of that stuff will work, so he's just blind. And that makes sense. So you shouldn't, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if you would normally be able to cure a person's blindness. I'm assuming mutilated wounds here through normal. Oh, I don't know if magic could ever be considered normal. Anyways, let's go ahead and pick up this barrel. And we're going to send these back to base. I held shift. Sometimes the game just does not register when you're trying to select multiple items.
Should mind my step.
Both of these doors lead to the same area. There's some underwear on this mat, so make of that what you will. The Watcher crossbow blueprint. I don't know how you're really supposed to find this stuff out. But if you look at it, it says the blueprint revealing the internal workings of a Steel Watcher's arm-mounted crossbow. Okay, we have the blueprint. We have a Steel Watcher arm. And we have a targeting module. Take these. Oh, and there's also mechanical diagrams, which doesn't enlighten us any further. Trying to read it. Nothing. Go up to this table and put those 3 things that we got from the museum outside on. Blueprints from this room, Steel Watcher arm, and targeting module. I don't think the order particularly matters. And we get the Hellfire Engine crossbow, a +2 crossbow that allows you to cast lightning arrow once per long rest. It also has the repossession malefactor, which is what I put onto the crossbow we were using. So we're going to pass that over to Shadowheart, and she'll use that. It goes well with her Tempest Cleric, Tempest Domain as a concept. And there's a lever in this room. I think it's up here, yeah.
Breathe deep and move.
Why are you running? Oh, there's a ladder right there. Flip that. That'll call this cargo elevator, which will then unlock that gate. And we're going to go and split our team into 2 for this one. On one side, we will have Tran, Will, Halson, and Thara, and the gnome, whatever his name is, Xander Tube. Oh, that's right. There is one other thing we need to do before we do that. All right. I have to show you how to get all the magic items. Let's go ahead and toggle on the non-lethal damage. Shadowheart, we're gonna disable her casting Project Ward or whatever it is. Yeah, Projected Ward. I don't want her to protect this guy. We're gonna beat this guy into unconsciousness. Yeah, Jared can do it. Knocked out. Temporary. Take a look at his body. He has a hammer that's currently equipped. We're going to leave that on him. Got a collar that's currently equipped. We'll leave that on him as well. Funny that we can just detach it. Do remember that even after the crystal blew up, he was still alive. We're going to leave these on him in case it breaks the game if I take them, because I'm 100% sure the game does not expect me to do this. What I knocked him out for were these Weakling Gloves, which is just sleight of hand +1 and attack +1. Not that fantastic compared to where we're at in the game, but you know what? It's a magic item we're taking anyways. And a book of Property of Xander Tubin. read this. It contains a dizzying array of mathematical equations. The formulae scrawled on the margin, however, is a single line. Only Gon's true name can destroy the Neurocitor. Even with this book, we can't destroy this thing without the bomb or him, I guess, even though we have that book. Doesn't change anything. Maybe I have to kill him for that. I don't know. But we'll go ahead and heal him up, because he does not heal when we return. Cleric. Change healing word to regular heal. Just blast us at full power, because we're going to do a long rest in order to wake him back up. Get out of Shadowheart's way so she can render aid. Yeah, the reason why I'm healing him now is when we long rest and return, he will be not knocked out anymore. And he'll be back in his normal position, because I think the game doesn't want to bring him to camp, so I'll probably remove some, similar to how it handled the Myconid in the earlier part of the game. However, if I do it a second time while he's in my party, I've noticed that he just disappears for good. I don't know if it's because the game just removes him when you enter the camp for the first time. I don't know what's going on there, but I can tell you that doing it this way has worked for me. We can't leave the foundry right here, so we're gonna have to step out. Since we killed this guy, we might as well use this exit. This was a fire wine barrel, I assume. A long rest now. Alright, and of course my elixirs will disappear as a result of this, and that's fine. If I have to load the save, then I'll drink those elixirs between episodes. But if this take works, then we'll just go without. Hello. Feeling better?
We are losing time. You must guide me to the Neurocitor before the Bay Knights send reinforcements.
Let's go.
Lead the way. I'll listen to your steps and bring up the rear.
So we'll go and split up our team. I don't know why the game lagged at that moment. Oh, probably because I was selecting Will. Karlach will be Team 2. Shadowhearts. Team 1. No, actually, we'll go and put her in Team 2. That's fine. Gale, Team 2. I'm trying to think of where Halsin should really be. I think this is fine. 5 people per team. I'm counting Tubin as one of the 5.
If not over.
So we have these 4 plus the companion. Jahair will lead Team 2. Let's see how this works out. Tran has very high initiative, so him entering turn-based combat as soon as he exits out the elevator should freeze everybody in place. Am I missing someone? There. Okay, I don't know what you were doing back there. I just stealth, so she wasn't walking stealth all this time or anything. We're gonna go ahead and have Tran hop on through. If I can just get the lever, the sweet spot of that.